Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do our top 12 most disappointing games on the Quest platform of all time. Now, these can be for a variety of different reasons. DLC plans, they botched the launch, whatever the case may be, we're going to talk about it in this video. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that these games suck and I don't play them, because these are games that I still play. So if you guys also still play them or want to buy them, and after you hear my thoughts on this, there will be links down below to all of these games with my affiliate links if you guys want to support me and the channel. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
The first one here coming in at number 12 is Party Versus, and this is supposed to be like the Mario Party minigame type thing for the Quest. I was super excited when this got announced. It's a mixed reality game where you're going in there and you see people's rooms, which is really cool, and their actual furniture placement. And you're basically playing all these different mini games to be like the king and stuff like that. But first of all, multiplayer is dead in it, unfortunately, and I really want more people to play it, even to this day. But they just haven't supported it at all. Like, it came out for only $10, which was a great price for it. And I thought, oh, they're definitely going to release DLC for it. We're going to get more mini games and stuff like that to keep the game fresh. A game like this that had like a dozen mini games in it that you're playing needed more content to, keep the player base active and keep advertising and stuff. But this was a one and done for Meta and the developers who made this game, and it was super disappointing because I loved what was here and I was looking forward to more DLC, and I was like, there's no way they're not going to do DLC. There has to be. They never did. Party Versus, number 12. The next one here coming in at number 11 is Just Dance VR. And when this game got announced, I was super excited about it because I know the Just Dance franchise. I have it for the 360. They still release this game for the Xbox and Switch and all that stuff, and it's still here. And I love the premise of it. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, they seem to be doing a really good job. Each song has their own background and stuff like that. And then they dropped this game, and again, another game just like the other one, they stopped supporting it. They put so much work into this game, creating a hub world, creating like this cool environment that you could dance in and stuff like that, inviting your friends, some cool mechanics to play some minigames, stuff like that. And I still recommend this game if you like the franchise, but how do you guys release a game like this and release it with 25 songs that have no future plans for DLC, especially when that's your whole entire motto on every other game out there when you do it on the Xbox and the Switch and stuff? It's kind of crazy to me. And here we are, Just Dance VR, coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is Dash Dash World. This was the Mario Kart of VR, and I was loving everything that these guys were doing when it came to the multiplayer, the single player, the courses. They were all uniquely designed, and to be honest, it's still my favorite kart racer in VR even to this day, even though it is, again, no longer supported. And this one really hurt because the developers were super active with me. They were super active in the Discord and stuff like that, and then one day they literally vanished. They have not made another game. They have not made anything. They have not contacted anybody. They literally just disappeared and have never responded to the community again. And that's really unfortunate because we lost a really good game here that could have been supported for years, because they could have kept releasing DLC tracks like they were doing, and I would have kept buying them. And this is still my favorite kart racer in VR. It's just unfortunate that it couldn't have been so much more, which is why it's one of my most disappointing games of all time, because I wanted it to keep going. I liked what they were doing, and these guys just dropped off the face of the earth and no one ever heard from them again. And it's crazy, but that's exactly what happened with this game. Dash Dash World coming in at number 10. The next one here coming in at number 9 is called Bounce Shot. When I first saw this game, I was like, oh my god, this game is going to be super popular. It's going to be fun to go online with 1v1 or 2v2 and stuff like that online with people, because it's obviously a really popular game that people play in real life. Playing some beer pong, people can go in there and drink and stuff like that and play this game. They had multiple game modes. It's really cheap. It's really easy to afford. Went online, got this game. Physics were spot on, and nobody is online playing this game. Not when it came out, not later on, not ever. I still play this game single player against the CPU sometimes just because I want to, but it was disappointing. Bounce Shot at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is called Catan VR. Now, you guys know on this channel I'm a huge board game fan, and I think board games are one of the best things to play in VR when they're done right. And Catan did it right for the 4 players. This game is done really well. It still plays really well. You can play with 4 players online. You can add AI and everything. But what was most disappointing about this is, again, no DLC. They did not add any of the DLC to expand it to 5 players or 6 players. They didn't add any of the river expansions. They didn't do anything with this game. They just have the base game, and then they walked away. I was like, You have the biggest board game ever out there, and they just walked away from it and didn't add any of the expansions. It's insane. It's too bad because I love this game the way it is, and I just wanted more. Catan coming in at number 8. The next one here, coming in at number 7, is The Climb 2. Now, we all know that this was a sequel to the original Climb, and the original Climb was a game that blew me away graphics-wise on the PC when I played it, and I was showing it to family and friends. And when this sequel got announced, I was excited about it because obviously it's sequel to one of the biggest games that was on PC VR, but it was only a MetaQuest game, and this was one of those games where I usually don't feel this way about most other games, but this game needed to be on PC. It needed to take advantage of those graphics because that's what the original one was known for. That's what we loved about it, and granted, they did a really good job as far as pushing the Quest as far as possible when this game came out on the Quest platform, but I was still disappointed because I wanted this game to really be a sequel of the original, expand upon it, and give me those amazing looking graphics, but instead we got obviously a much worse looking game for a game that I thought that was its biggest thing that I liked about it, was the graphics and scaling these buildings and stuff like that. Now, I don't really truly hate this game on the Quest. I still think it's a really good game. I was just severely disappointed because it got a huge downgrade, obviously, in the graphics department, and that was one of the things I love showcasing on the original and playing it for. So, The Climb 2 comes in at number 7. The next one here, coming in at number 6, is Dance Central. Again, this is one of a franchise that I really loved. I remember playing this on the Xbox 360 with Kinect. I still have it downstairs in my collection. And when this game got announced for VR, I was also super excited about it. They did like the club environment really cool. You got a phone that you could pick the songs and everything. They had a really cool multiplayer hub where you can go in there with people and start songs and fist bump people and just like enjoy each other's company and chat and play these songs, play them against, and they have different game modes, 1v1, 2v2, competitions. It was just really, really good. But again, another game that did not get supported, and this was really one I wanted to get supported because I love these social hangout. This is one of the best social hangout areas that they had in VR back in the day that I really, really liked, and they just did nothing. Not one piece of DLC song. How are you developers out there making games that are based on DLC, like songs like this, and not even releasing 1 or 2 songs for this as DLC? Like, I understand that maybe the game didn't become super popular and maybe like you stopped after a few months of releasing DLC because it wasn't catching on, but to not even try, like at the start, to at least have a game plan of like, hey, we're gonna support this game for games that are naturally supposed to be supported and get people excited, pisses me off every single time. Dance Central coming in at number 6. The next one here, coming in at number 5, is Micro Machines Mini Challenge. Now, Micro Machines is a game that we all know and love, and the franchise that we all know and love. And when it was coming to VR, so many people were so excited about it. And then I started reading the previews from all the people who got early access to it back in the day, and everyone playing it. And then I got my hands on it, and it is just not a fun game. It's not a game I have fun with. It's not a game that I have ever played after that first week of looking at it and stuff like that. It was really unfortunate. I went back and forth with the devs when this first came out, and they gave me access, telling them what to fix and what to do and stuff like that, and it just never got there for me. It's just not what I expected out of a Micro Machines game. I thought they could have done so much more with this game in VR, and I think a lot of us felt the same way, and it was just severely disappointed because we all have a tie-in from our childhood with the Micro Machines, the games and stuff like that, and it just was disappointing in almost all fronts on this game. Micro Machines coming in at number 5. The next one on this list, coming in at number 3, is Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. I was super excited when this game got announced because it was being made by Dreams. It was going to be multiplayer based. It was going to apparently be a slight story and stuff, but the story was nothing to talk about. It was really disappointing. I wanted a full-on Ghostbusters story, which is not what they did. And then the multiplayer stuff, if you're going to make a full-on multiplayer game, how are you going to make the game loop be the same thing over and over again? Like, there was game modes in there that were actually super fun, like catching a ghost and stuff like that, and different game modes that they had to like capture things and bring them back to a point. But they didn't move. They made it so every time you played the same level, it wasn't randomized on where that pickup location was. How are you going to make a game multiplayer based that the items don't change, so you're playing the same game modes over and over again and you know exactly where they are, when the whole point of it is trying to find it while you're going through the levels, and they just put them in the same spot every time you played? So many issues with this game. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is Solaris Off-World Combat. I don't know how many of you guys remember this game. This was from First Contact Entertainment before they obviously, closed down and went out of business. And this was my favorite game that they made on the Quest. It was like a take between Quake and Unreal Tournament and stuff like that. All the pieces for a good game where they were stylized graphics. It was super fun, but they decided to never listen to the community. Every time the community told them, hey, we want to be able to see both their hands. We want to be able to use both their hands. Like, the movement system needs to be tweaked, or hey, we want this in the game. They didn't listen to anything, and obviously without them listening to anything, they slowly but surely drove the community away. Eventually the lobbies became harder and harder to find. People weren't joining the game rooms and weren't joining lobbies, and they had issues with multiplayer and people joining with each other. The game got killed, the company went out of business, and now this game is forgotten, which is really unfortunate because I thought it was a really good game when it came to like that style of gameplay. It just needed some tweaks along the way, and the devs kind of botched this one completely. Solaris Off-World Combat coming in at number 3. The next one here coming in at number 2 is Hitman 3 VR Reloaded. I think we all know how disappointed we were when this game came out on the Quest. Not only did it look really bad, it didn't have great VR interactions, using your hands and stuff like that. They completely botched this game, and it's just a perfect game for VR. And they just messed everything up. The controls weren't good, the graphics weren't good, there was no animations. A lot of the things required button prompts instead of actually doing the VR animations, and they never went back and fixed this game. And it was really more disappointing when we saw how good that PlayStation VR 2 release was. It really caught us all by surprise on how good that PlayStation VR 2 game was done. I know it was done by different devs, but it's the same game. And thank God we have the PSVR 2 version, because that game is amazing on PSVR 2 in every single way. And they just botched this one completely on the Quest. And it's too bad, because obviously that means the Quest community can't play a great Hitman game in VR, because this one's just not good. Like, I wouldn't, some of the games on this list that I've been talking about, I would still recommend to people to play, as long as you know the issues that I just talked about, because it might be disappointing, but it doesn't make it the worst game I've ever played. And some of these games I still play, like Just Dance and some of the other games on this list, and Party Versus. But a game like this, nope, don't even play it anymore. Just go buy the PlayStation VR 2 version. If you can't play it there, just don't play it, because this game was just not a good VR experience in so many ways. Hitman 3 VR Reloaded coming in at number 2. And the number 1 disappointing game on this list for sure is Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Medal of Honor is such a great franchise, and they were hyping this up so much when it was being done. It was being done by Respawn Entertainment, a beloved studio that a lot of us know. And man, this game disappointed me, not because the game was actually that bad, because I actually don't think the game is that bad. They just messed a few things up. First of all, they made the game, I think, like 70 or 10, I forget exactly how many gigs it was, like 70 to 100 gigs. So it took up like the majority of a Quest storage. So people had to choose like, hey, you want just this game or do you want 30 other games? The storage on the Quest was insane. Fine. Whatever. Then the multiplayer stuff, they again didn't support. They didn't like add new DLC maps. They didn't like support it with tournaments or any like community driven stuff. None of that was there. So they really kind of messed this game up. And I actually do think this game is actually really good on PC, for example. The graphics on PC are still like the best shooting graphics I have ever seen online when it comes to the maps and stuff like that, like a multiplayer shooter. It's amazing on PC. But man, they botched this game in so many ways, and it's too bad. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond at number 1. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my list of my top 12 disappointing games I have ever played on the Quest platform till this day. It's unfortunate that we have to make a list like this, but not every game could be perfect. And even I actually still play some of these games like I talked about, so they might be the most disappointing in certain ways, but that doesn't mean that I don't play these games ever again. There's just reasons why they're disappointing, which we talked about in this video. Let me know what your most disappointing game on the Quest is down below in the comments, and thank you guys for watching. Till next time.